Oh, I'm gonna have to be mindful about where my crosshairs go.
Gosh darn, this is noisy. Anyway, guys, Sam here. So just presenting y'all an episode of GTNH. More focus on what I want to do with the Steam system here. I'm actually wanting to move the Steam system elsewhere other than this trade area because I'm having a feeling it's just going to be more of a temporary setup than an actual permanent setup. I'm going to get some steam brewing here. I'm getting some copper ingots here processed here. I got all the tin ready. It's just a matter of having enough of the ingots and the steam to process them all into bronze. That's what I need to do with this here for a moment. But yeah, let me move away from that so I can hear my thoughts here. So this steam setup, it's moving back to where all the other Crusoe ovens are at. I know it sounds counteractive to the fact I want to move everything out of there, but at this point, this being a temporary setup, there's no sense in trying to establish something permanent. So, migrate back to the caves I dug out, and that there will be more of a starter production system until I can get a electrical system going with the outer ring here. Like, I haven't even decided what the building materials for the outer base ring is going to be. So for now, I'm not worrying about starting the major base. And if I do start it, it'll be with temporary building blocks. Another thing too as well that I want to do in this episode is get steel production going. Now looking at this tier here, there we go, for some reason that got reset, so blast off. So to make the steel ingots, I'll have to look at the multi-block goals quest tabs to see what I can do with the brick blast furnace here. So what exactly is the brick blast furnace? This here. I definitely going to be needing a lot of clay, a little bit of stone, some flint, fair amount of iron. Though with me recently mining out a copper batch, I have so much iron because the copyright batches always have a little bit of iron in them. So I've got iron for days, whether it's from pyrite or raw iron ore. Furnaces are easy to make, as I said. A stone flint sandwich, and there's iron furnace, whatnot. Yeah. You get the gist of it. All these ingredients come together to make the blast furnace, and this is what you'll need to make steel with. Once I get steel produced, then I'll be able to get to the more juicier stuff with the smelters here. Like steel smelters, like the steel boilers, stuff like that, produces way more steam compared to the bronze boiler, which produces like 120 liters per second. That's a big difference. And I'm assuming that burns through coal and water at the same rate. So that gets relocated. I also want to create a glass tank system too as well. So this way I can just leave the boiler running for long periods of time and let store up any excessive steam. This way, I'm able to process materials much longer without having to worry about monitoring the boiler as much. This way I can free my mind up doing other things too as well, while this boils things up at the same time. And to make the glass tanks is something I'm not fond of. This part here is easy. Clear glass. This is one thing that I don't consider to be a topic to be fond of. Okay. I came across it before. So what I need to do is ultimately make the glass dust. And to make glass dust, I need quartz sand and flint. Flint is easy. What I'm looking at is the quartz sand. I think I found like a quartz batch somewhere here around here when I was digging around a few episodes ago. That might be the key to what I'm looking for making glass tanks, but nothing's certain yet. And even then, I gotta find some obsidian here to make the obsidian glass stuff like that. Because whether you're going for the strengthened casings or the obsidian casings, you're going to need obsidian. So the glass tank might be a while. Same thing with the steel production. But definitely making a big push to get all that moved over and temporarily going over there. Anyways, y'all, go ahead, hit the sack here and get it right on cracking. So pretty much around here is where I'm putting the steam setup at. And I'll probably put the steel smeltery right here. In the meantime, I need to go start gathering materials for steel production. So I'll definitely be focusing on gathering materials. This way we can get steel. Okay, so I'm delaying the move of the equipment there for a little bit. I actually made myself a compressor. I'm timing it in a way where I'm able to get the most amount of steam possible to make the bronze too as well. Speaking of bronze, I need to repair a shovel real quick. I've been gathering a lot of sand. Time I'm gonna get away from that machine because that's noisy as heck. So, back into the multi-block goals here. I'm going to make myself the blast furnace here because I need steel. For that, I will need to... Well, first of all, what does it take to make the blast furnace brick? Alright, so there's that, and then... So it's 4 iron furnace with the fire bricks. Alright, so gotta make those fire bricks. That requires calcium or gypsum. Okay, they're both gypsum, actually. And the fire bricks, compressed fired clay dust, clay with brick. Alright, how much clay? This is going to demand a lot of processing with clay here. Well, in that case, let's do some basic math here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For one of these. Oh, bucket of concrete. What does it take to make a bucket of concrete?
So I need stone dust, quartz sand, clay dust, calcite. How do I make calcite? So I need the calcite ore. There's the pyrochlore ore. And there's the mellow ore, but that's with the later tiers of processing. Oh, shucks. The tricky part's to make this calcite dust for me for the moment. However, I think I have found some raw calcite ore itself. I need to see how much of it I need to grab, though, because definitely need to grab a whole lot of it. Not much. I think you get the calcite from the lapis veins. If that's the case, then I better start mining up all the lapis veins out of there. With that in mind, I might as well max out the fortune on this year, because within that lapis veins, with the sodalite and all that, there's a little bit of lapis ore that I can get in there. So I'm going to be straight with y'all with this episode here. I was a little lost with how to proceed with this at first, when I came to realize that steel production was going to take a good amount of time to gather resources and set up. On top of that, too, as well, with also what contributed to the struggle of making this episode, too, as well, is that on a technical side with the laptop I'm using, for some odd reason, OBS is very sensitive with GTNH. That's at least with my case here with this laptop here. So I actually literally had to reinstall my graphics driver to my laptop, add a clean install, and time OBS a certain way when it comes to opening it without it crashing GTNH. So this episode took a little bit longer than usual, not to mention it tested my technical wits with just computer care in general. So I appreciate y'all's patience here with this here. I definitely invested a lot more time and effort than what I normally should have to do just to make this episode. And y'all, I hope y'all liked the show, and I appreciate your patience on this matter. Alright, so I had a relatively productive mining trip. That's 20 pieces of calcite, though, I found. I wonder if I can double that through a macerator. I have found 2 diamonds because of a abyssal stone vein, as well as some emeralds. Do you have any modifiers available for this? Almost there. Not yet, though. With this, I can grab additional durability. Same thing with the shovel. Do I have any modifiers with the sword yet? Nope, not yet. But yeah, it's good to be able to have a boost of durability right there. Meantime, these 2 pieces of diamonds I'm saving for a macerator. Which steam do I have in here? Well, not much, but even then it's starting to run out of water. Anyways, I'm gonna make myself a macerator after I'm done supplying the boiler with the water that it needs. It's gonna run out of water, and I don't want to be dealing with the headache of having to wait for it to cool off before replenishing the water in it. If you try to replenish an empty boiler while there's some heat in it still, the boiler will explode. So, better take care of something now before it becomes a problem in the future.
So here's the macerator getting ready to be made. There we go. So that's the steam macerator. Took that up there just in case we need to make more machines. Alright, cool. So I've got the macerator there set and ready to go. Now it's just a matter of grinding up all the calcite. That bit is quite, I don't know, actually still. What? I can't process this? Well, how do I get calcite then? Let me look at something real quick here. Swear to goodness, I saw calcite as part of the concrete recipe. It's calcite. It's a pulverizer. So the calcite goes through the macerator. Oh, that's because I didn't hook up the Steam connection to this thing. And one of my things didn't add up. Now I should see a big dip in the Steam supply. Yep. Alright, well, I'm just gonna let all the Steam cache up a bit in here and get on grinding.
Now that's the sound I like to hear. That's the sound of doubling progress. Question is how much... I mean, your spoiler's producing more steam than what this here is consuming, so... It's good to know. Alright. This base raider, I'm actually surprised it's not consuming as much energy as much steam compared to all the other stuff here. I don't know what the compressor does, how much steam the compressor can consume. I do know that this here consumes a fair amount of steam. The alloy smelter consumes a lot of steam. Like, just processing bronze is enough to suck this up, as well as part of the cache up here, part was cached up in these pipes too as well, so. Alright, we'll remove that. Once that's done processing, we'll start seeing steam levels be at a very slow rise. Yeah, it's at a net gain on steam. Oy, excuse the mouse. Sometimes this thing has a mind of its own. Alright. So that should yield about 46 calcite ore. But I still need 72. Which means I'm going to have to hit that lapis vein again. But hey, some good progress. Alright, what makes stone dust? Alright, obviously the ores do. What I'll more likely do is putting some copper ore in here, just to double up on copper. I'm going to need to make that copper and tin stretch a long ways if I want to make more of the bronze system here. Not that it would matter much considering the fact of getting ready to make steel. Anyhow, enough thinking. Gotta get back to swinging that pickaxe. Alright, so some good news here. Got plenty more of the calcite. Now it's just a matter of getting it all processed down. So back down here again. To the glory of the macerator. I could throw in another tin ingot just for sake of getting bronze slowly being processed in. Move back away from this so that way I can look furthermore. I need to look at the concrete recipe again. So, bucket of concrete. So that's the calcite dust. Stone dust, quartz. Stone dust I can get from processing ore. Calcite, I'm getting that processed up right now thanks to the lapis batches lapis vein I've been mining up. That I discovered I can get from sand. Just by smash skip sand. That means I can actually use that macerator too as well to deal with sand. Oof.
And you know what's nice about this too as well? This is so much more efficient on one piece of coal to run all these things compared to just using the furnaces there. And how do I make gypsum? So there is a gypsum ore. That means I have to do a little bit more surveying around to see if there's any gypsum ore around. Alright, so my next bottleneck now is gypsum. I do not recall finding gypsum anywhere. Which means I got a lot of digging around here to do still. Until I can find a gypsum vein. If that's the case, then I'll get right on to it.
Alright, so I've been digging around here. No luck finding the ore that I'm looking for the bricks. But in the meantime, I was able to find a little bit of lava batches to mine into obsidian. So I'm just going to take the liberty and make 2 tanks. Alright, so that's that. I think I need, like, yeah, 2 of those. Oh, I might need a screwdriver. I'll make another tank because I might take a zerb at the loot bags. Cool. And that should be a means for me to be able to set some steam here. There we go. That pretty much done now. Now I can just feed this thing here and be more aggressive with how much coal I can supply here. Because this large cache size will allow me to do more operations at a time with the alloy smelter without having to be so focused with the boiler here. Oh! These store way more liquid than what I thought. Or is it just treating all this as one structure reading off of that? Because if that's the case, then each tank is storing 16,000 millibuckets. So 16 buckets. This is also 16 buckets. So basically, one of these is one of these in terms of storage capacity. Which pretty much tells me I can run 4 processes for bronze ingots. 1, 2, 3. About 4 times before a stack's worth of steam gets consumed. Before 64 buckets worth of steam gets consumed. And then let it all rebuild back up after a while. In that case, I'll feed that through again. Get that going. With this many fuel, I can slowly fill this up, while at the same time keeping this macerator running. Because I know for a fact with the macerator I'm always going to be at a net gain on steam. Just gotta make sure I have enough water supplied. Nice.
Oh, heck yeah. Finally found it. Yep, there's there's earth, ballistic mineral sand. Just need to find the gypsum. Took me a very long time to find it. Oh, there it is. I think that's the gypsum. Yeah, gypsum. Gypsum, you're my gypsy. So, Clay gets the macerator really roaring. Hey, hey, hey. Spare the ears, please. So I'm finding out that making the blast furnace is turning out to be a big royal pain in terms of time consumption and all. But I'm browsing through more of the recipes to see if there's if there's an even more efficient way of processing all these things. And with brick dust, I know this for sure. So with the brick dust, processing one brick takes 20 seconds just for a small pile of brick dust. But if you were to process one full brick block, you would get one full brick dust in 1.05 seconds. Much better deal. Though in order to make 2 brick blocks at a time, though, we'll need a water bucket, which means more water needs to be consumed. That's the trade-off here. I just find it interesting to see how that is a thing here. This should help streamline things a little bit because one fire block needs 6 fire bricks, and 1 fire brick for the after smelting compressed fired clay requires 1 brick dust, 1 clay dust. Calculating the fact that 1 fire brick needs like 6 fire bricks in it, that there's about, gosh, almost 200 fire bricks, which is almost 200 brick dust and 200 clay dust. That's a lot of clay and bricks. No wonder why this recipe here is a thing. Yeah, this is definitely an all-day thing here, just to be able to smelt steel. Anyways, back on track. Alright, so getting the fire clay going now. Well, I start having a little bit of catering to steam machines a little bit, so I'm going to try to make the water power to see if that can help alleviate the amount of water I'm having to manually put into these things. One less step to worry about. Actually, a fair amount of water it's generating. Not to mention you can store up to 400 buckets worth. This looks like a worthy investment, and this is only in a biome at 50% humidity, so it's operating at half capacity. Alright, time to make the pipes. There's water automatically going to flow. Whoa. Can't believe I just did that. So easy to do with these mods. I mean, looking at the numbers here between the water reservoir, it looks like they're both at a net gain. This year's feeling more of a net gain than this year, which makes sense. Oh, I also got like a bunch of rubber farm going here, so that way I was able to get that built up real fast. That with a fortune to axe, a lot of the saplings were easy, so. The troubling thing I always had about these Icy 2 rubber trees is that they either give you barely a net gain on saplings or no, or a net loss of saplings at all. What Enderman are you? I see. Anyways, gonna get back on to doing what I was doing with the other things. Time for the tedious part. I finally got about 216 bricks, which is what I calculated. Well, I think I produced 4 more than I need. But you know what? Those extra bricks might come handy in the future. So I'll go ahead and just slap these down and distribute them evenly as possible. $36, the magic number. And then I will need the gypsum. Alright. And then... No, I have to hit the sack soon. And then I will need the calcite dust with the quartz. That's the stone, and I think I'll be needing some clay with that too as well. And that's concrete for you. One fire bricks, wahaha. 2 fire bricks, wahaha. Alright. I'll go to sleep here and I'll pretty much put this on a time lapse for y'all.
Well, I'm pretty much out of water in this little reservoir here. Actually, I might be able to smuggle one more bucket. Alright, take two. Cool. That is 36. Now I need 4 of these and a wrench. Alright. Time to get some steel. Just a short one block. What exploded? Must have been a creeper getting aggroed or something else. Okay, I figured it out. It turns out that one extra block left out is intended. It's not like your typical Greg Tech stuff to where you have like everything completely enclosed in the middle. No, you literally have to have one hole on top be open. Took me a while to figure out just reading through the tooltip. So realizing this, now I get to wait for the 4-minute cycle to have one steel ingot get produced. So that's what I'm just going to do. Wait around for a little bit for all that to get produced, whatnot. Get some steel going, and then I'll have to see what goes on then and there. I do want to complete the quest here. So 8 steel ingots, that there is... I basically have to wait half an hour just to get 8 steel ingots. That should allow me to get the those 8 steel ingots. I'll then be able to make myself a flint and steel and proceed through the nether. While also upgrade some tools and possibly make some machines too as well. But if I am going to be making tools out of steel though, well, I'm definitely going to have to make sure I keep this active all the time. This way, it's always producing steel passively. I also got to take account time too as well to make sure I don't burn through the resources too fast. Anyway, Enjoy the sweetness of the cookie here. You know, several episodes ago, I mentioned that I wanted to build like a small shed to be able to store these crops en masse. You know, while all the steel gets processed, whatnot, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just kill time and just build up all the drawers I need for the shed. Like, what does it take to make a drawer? Oof. Looks like I'll be using the saw a lot. So one chest and that for that. Yeah, I'll definitely be burning through a lot of the oak wood that I have for this. My question is, though, how much? What does a drawer controller cost? Oh, pricey. Yep, I won't be seeing the drawer controller anytime soon. In the meantime, though, I'll definitely grab some things, and especially the saw, and I'll get on cracking and making some drawers and stuff. Oh, I'm going to have to be mindful about where my crosshairs go. Hey, buddy. You definitely want my attention. Like I said, I dread the day that I aggro one of these guys. Okay, I haven't quite completed the shed, but I got 8 steel ingots. So I was able to almost knock 2 birds off with 1 stone. I ran out of oak wood, so... And even then, I feel like a spruce roofing would be a better deal with this. Just have a darker shingle look. But this is a good temporary setup for now. Now, let's see here. Loot bag. I can easily get plenty of iron, so I'll just claim the loot bag on this one. Now, let's see here. Yeah, that's a cool modifier to have. As much as I'd like to keep on making more time to make some recordings here, I'm going to have to call it here on this episode, because I've spent a lot of time working for this blast furnace here. Like, this here took me, gosh, almost over 2 days going on and off working on this. This blast furnace is surprisingly a big spike in the amount of time that it takes to make it. But this was worth it, so I don't have to worry about resupplying this as much. Plus, too, with it being producing excessive fluids, it's raising the waters into these tanks, relieving me to have the need to pull from the river. Made a secondary smelter here to double up on steam production, which made this definitely worth the effort. Now I've got steel going. I'll definitely be working more towards making steel tools and steel equipment here. I also have the options to work towards exploring the nether. Oh, this big stone dust, not gravel? Well, the more you know. I could use stone dust for something later on in the future. Anyhow, y'all, I'll definitely make the push to make some tools and then visit Nether in the next episode, just to see what that's like in there at least. I don't plan on doing anything major, but I do know that with the Nether, you need to get some sulfur in order to make rubber, I think. I'm just briefly reading through this here, and sulfur, pyrite, and sulfurite. Oh yeah, and the sulfurite is needed to make the gallium and stuff needed for all the circuitry components. I'm just remembering something from things from Normie Factory. Anyhow, I'll see y'all in the next episode, and y'all take care.